Year 5. We've made it to Friday of week 13 of our learning. So today I'm going to start by showing the answers from yesterday. Now there are 4 pages of them, so I'm going to show one page and then I'm going to ask you to pause and check your answers and then go through the pages like I did yesterday. So there's page 1. Now again, your working out may not look the same as mine, but the answers are there. I've either written them or underlined them in red for you to have a little look. Okay, so hopefully you got on okay. If you've got one wrong, go back and look at the question again, have a look at my working out, see if you can edit and improve your own work. Okay, so today we're not going to do fluency today because we've got quite a lot to squeeze in. So we're going to remind ourselves of something that we did just before schools closed, and that is when we're talking about the order of operations known affectionately as BIDMAS. And the reason it is known as BIDMAS is it helps you remember what order to do operations in. So each of the letters in BIDMAS stands for something different, and here are the rules written out for you if you can't remember, and a little diagram to show you. So whenever you get a calculation, there's more than one sort of operation to do. You always do the brackets first. There's a bit in brackets that goes first. The I stand for indices. Now we didn't talk specifically about indices, but indices is when you have a number and you square it or cube it. So for example, 3 squared is known as an index, or that's an indice, that's indices. Okay, so don't worry too much about that today, but you do brackets, then indices, then you do multiplication, division. Now, it doesn't matter, it does not necessarily division then multiplication. It goes from left to right, so it could be the other way round. And then you go to addition and subtraction. If there is no rule to follow, you work from left to right, just as if you were reading, okay? So if it's just addition and subtraction in the calculation, you work from left to right. If it's just multiplication and division, you work from left to right. If there's a mix, you do the multiplication and division first, then work from left to right. And when there are brackets, you do the brackets first. So today's activity, we're going to remind ourselves on BIDMAS generally, and then we're going to use BIDMAS to support us in writing our own problems. So, okay, here's just some examples of BIDMAS problems that we'll talk about together. So this first one, this is what I mean by indices. So this is 4 squared, which is 16. So you do that first. Now I always write it underneath the bit that you work out first, just to make it a bit easier. And then we've got a take away and an add, so we go from left to right. So 30, take away 16, which is 14, add 3 is 17. Okay, this time we've got an add and a divide. Now we always do multiplication and division first, so we do this bit first. So again, I'm going to do that, 15 divided by 3, and write it underneath. So now we've got 20, add 5, which is 25. Okay, this time we've got an add and a subtract and a multiply. So we do the multiplication first, and then we work from left to right. 3 add 15 is 18, take away 8 is 10. And then this time we've got brackets. You always do brackets first. So 6 and 5 is 11. And then you work from left to right. So 3 times 11 is 33. So that was just a little recap for you. What I'm going to ask you to do now is I'm going to give you some calculations. I'm going to ask you to create your own number problem based on those number sentences. So let's have a look. Let's look at number 1. So number 1, we've been given the number sentence, 20 add 15 divided by 3. Well, first of all, this is one of the ones that we've just worked out together. So I'm just going to rewrite on here what we did. You do the division first, and then you work out the answer. Once you've got that, I want you to put it in the context of a problem, a bit like the ones you've been solving this week. So we want the person solving our problem to do 15 divided by 3 first. So maybe, I don't know, let's have Axel shares £15 equally, that's what the division means, between his 3 children. Let's give them names. Bob, Cal, and Dee. Don't worry too much about thinking of names and things. You can do it on a theme if you want to. It doesn't really matter. So first of all, he shares the money equally. And then one of the children I'm going to do gets £20 extra. So they've each got 5, so we've done that first. And then let's say Cal then gets £20 for his birthday. Don't forget when you're writing a word problem, you must actually ask the question at the end. It can be very easy to forget when you've got it in your head. So Axel shares £15 equally between his 3 children. That's good, that takes us there. Cal then gets £20. How much money does Cal have altogether? Okay, so that's one example of a problem we might have or we might write. And then the next one, again, work it out first. Make sure you know how to get the answer yourself. So this one, we're going to do, I'll do it in a different colour so you can see it clearly. We're going to do the multiplication first because that's the rule. BIDMAS, brackets and indices, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. And 3 add 15 is 18, take away 8 is 10. So we want to multiply something first. So what could we have? Well, it could be anything. Let's have pencils. So each of these parts of the calculation are going to represent pencils. So Tom has 1 box of 3 red pencils because we're always running out of red pencils, so there's not many left. He has 1 box of 15 green pencils and 2 boxes of 4 yellow pencils. So you can see there, this one 1 box of 3, well that's just 3. 1 box of 15 is just 15. 2 boxes of 4 has to do that first because I'm then going to ask how many pencils does Tom have? And then that all-important word altogether. And a question mark, of course, to show that it's a question. Okay, so your task today is to, well, there's 2 sections. The first section is just straightforward BIDMAS. Now, if you keep the video running, at the end of the video, I am actually going to put the answers to section A up because it's a Friday and we won't be back tomorrow. So you can check, but please do have a go yourself first before you check the answers. Now, section 2, I've given you some more number sentences and I would like you to create the word problem for one for each of the calculations. Now, obviously, I can't really give you the answers for those. There are many, many different possibilities, but if you do have somebody at home that can check for you, or you can upload some to the blog, or if you're in school, then your bubble teacher can go through it with you and check that you've got them right. Okay, so pause the video there, do your work, and then at the end of the video, I will bring the answers, or I will show you a screenshot of the answers to section 1. Okay, that brings us to the end of week 13. So I'll be back next week where we're going to do lots of activities based around fractions and a little bit of decimals as well, which I'm sure you'll look forward to just as much as I am. Have a lovely weekend.